Last night, maybe you had a dream that felt real. Maybe you remember the details of the dream. Maybe you don't. But in the dream, there was a body. There were people. There were places and problems, let's just say. And while the dream lasted, it might have felt completely real to you. You didn't question it. You lived it in that moment. Then you woke up and suddenly you saw the whole thing was happening inside you. Not a single thing in the dream was outside of awareness. Now look around. Just take a look around. What's different about this in your waking state? There's a body. There are people. There are places. And sure, maybe there are problems. And it all feels completely real. But pause. Where does all of this actually appear? The sight of the room, the sight of the pool, the sound of these words, the sensations in the body. All of it appears the same way last night's dream appeared, inside awareness. And so what if this too is a dream? Not a dream to dismiss, it's not a dream to escape, but a dream to recognize. When you think you're the body, you believe the world is outside. That is, your desires feel far away. And you try to close the gap with effort, with control, with micromanaging. You affirm, you visualize, sure, you check the 3D, meaning your circumstances, but all of that comes from a single mistake, believing that you are separate from the dream, as if the dreamer is trapped inside the dream character. What happens when you see clearly that I'm not the character, I'm the dreamer? The body is still experienced, but as part of the dream, the world is still experienced, but as part of the dream. Desires are still experienced, but as part of the dream. Nothing is outside. Everything is appearing here in the same awareness that you truly are. And it's not my awareness or your awareness, it's just one awareness. And the moment this recognition begins to dawn, life feels lighter. Decisions flow more easily because you're no longer weighing them as if they are life or death for a character. They simply appear as the natural next step. Manifestations feel of what you want. Manifestation of what you truly desire feels smoother because the resistance of separation, the idea that something is out there to chase, falls away. And you see that life has always been unfolding in your favor because you were never outside of it. You were the one dreaming it all along. And this is how you get to decide on what you want without force. Now, it makes sense when people say just decide, because here's the most practical shift. When you know you are the dreamer, deciding that something is yours no longer feels, it does not feel like tightening of your fists or forcing life into place. It's simply a natural movement of clarity. Now, of course, you can just decide, like, yeah, this is a part of my life, it's mine. And it lands without resistance. Now it's not some fake affirmation, because everything you want is already appearing within the same dream you are. So deciding that wealth is yours feels no longer heavier than deciding to breathe. Deciding that your specific person is in your life in a loving way feels no different than deciding to answer a text message. The decision arises and life moves to match it smoothly, without opposition. Which is why manifestation becomes simple here, not because you've learned some better tricks, but because the dreamer does not need to struggle with what already belongs to them. Where's the struggle? But when you mistake yourself for the character, and we all do this, everything feels heavy. You compare the body to others. You compare your personality to others. You measure worth through achievements. You chase desires as if they are distant, as if they live in a world you must conquer. You face opposition from the world because you imagine an opposing world. Resistance rises because you think you're moving against something instead of seeing that everything moves within you. This is the trap, not the experiences themselves, but the belief that they define you, that they mean something. So just try this out gently now. Notice a thought that just appeared. It can be anything. It can be like, what is she even saying? It can be like, oh, it's a sunny day. Where did this thought come from? Did you summon it, or did it just arise like a line in a dream script? Notice a sound in the room. Is it inside you or outside? Notice the sense, I am here. Where is that located? Is there an actual boundary between you and the world? Don't answer too quickly using words. You can use all the pretty words, all the right words. Stay with the looking. Where is it pointing you to? This is where manifestation of what you truly want becomes clear. When you live as a character, you feel small. You believe you must earn, prove, fix. Desires feel like mountains to climb. But when you live as the dreamer, the mountains are made of air. Desires are not out there. They're movements in you, expressions of the same awareness that dream the body, that dream the room, that dream the world. And because there's no gap now, and you recognize this, resistance dissolves in this recognition, this felt recognition. What you want doesn't have to push through walls. It simply arises as easily as the next thought, the next breath, the next step. Think about a desire you've had, like a home, a relationship. It's a business opportunity. As the character in the past, you might have felt the weight of making certain things happen. You strategized, you calculated, you feared opposition. From a place of fear, all of this. But as the dreamer, notice what shifts. The desire is still here, but it feels like it's right here. It feels close. It's not distant, not outside. It feels like it's already moving in the flow of life. Your thoughts and emotions feel lighter. From here, decisions come naturally. You find yourself saying yes, reaching out, stepping forward without the background tension of what if this fails, what if I'm wrong. You're not reacting to your reaction, so even if you react with a thought or emotion, you're not judging yourself for it. Opposition fades because there was never a separate world to oppose you. Everything is movement within the same dream. So let's say Wednesday morning rolls in. What does this mean? You do nothing? No, life still moves. You still work on your projects. Conversations still happen. You study if you're moved to. But now they feel easier because it's not a separate self doing them. It's life dreaming itself. And in this clarity, you stop fighting, you stop checking, you stop demanding proof, because you see the proof was always here. The whole world arising in you now. This is not about chasing a specific feeling, like euphoria or bliss. The dream doesn't need to feel blissful 24/7 for you to recognize yourself as the dreamer. It's about recognition, seeing what was always true from a felt sense perspective, from a rooted knowing that you were never the character, you were never the body, you were never the manifestor. You're the dreamer, the awareness in which all of these characters, including manifesting, comes and goes. From here, manifestation is as natural as the sun rising in the morning. It just happens. It's not an effort. There's no striving there. It's just unfolding, just revealing. So, once again, bring to your mind any desire. Notice how it feels in your body. Notice the thoughts around it. And just ask, is this desire outside of me, or is it another movement in the same dream? Notice a sensation, notice a sound, even the thought of, well, I'm right here. Do any of them exist outside awareness? Stay with the question, let it work on you. And see that there was never a separate world, never a separate self. You can even explore that more in my Weightless Experience. See that there's just the dreamer and the dream appearing in it. And dreamer is also not some entity. It has no location. Now you see that you were never a separate character trying to manifest. You were always the dreamer. So now desires manifest, not because you're dying to control them, but because resistance dissolves when you stop pretending that you're separate. Life was never against you. Every unfolding was part of your own dream. And when you see this clearly, manifestation becomes simple, natural, effortless, as if it all happens without lifting a finger. Because, and you know this, the truth is, it always did. It was always flowing that way. If you want to have this recognition deep in your bones, a knowing of this, you can reach out to me for one-on-one sessions using the link below, or email me at hello@theanilareddy.com. And I will also see you in the comments.